Hi, it's Russ from Product Expert, and I've got myself a copy of the new iZotope Breaktweaker, and I'd like to give you a show and tell review. And this will be launched at NAMM 2014. It's a rhythm generator that's MIDI controlled, so it gives you the option to play the parts from the keyboard, and their samples or their synths that are generated, and we'll look at that in a while. So we can create these sounds from scratch. And then we have, so the first octave of my keyboard is the parts to play live, and then I have the second octave is then playing patterns. So you can see that working. Now, a quick overview. So it's pretty straightforward and pretty self-explanatory to look at. What we have is that we have the tracks on the side here with the parts in it. And we have solo and we have mute for each one. Then over the top here we have a kind of universe where we can see, go between the patterns between bar 1 and bar 2 there. And at the top here we have the preset browser. And you can do normal things like load the kit only, so that's quite common these days in things like Machine, but it's the same in here. And import and export options and library management, so that's all where all your file management takes place for sounds and for the patterns. Then we have an undo and a redo. Then we have a MIDI indicator, and then we have a help, which is always good to have. Then we have an intensity, which is basically like a compressor, like a bus limiter at the end there. And we can either have stuff that's not very limited. At the moment, you won't see any gain going on at this. There's another reason for that, because we also get separate outputs. So we can have everything going out the main output here in stereo, and they just get selected like that. And you can hear now as I add the gain in there, you hear that compressing more. So you can really compress those. Or as I say, we can also then use separate outputs. So I've got this coming through Pro Tools. And you can see, if I go to the left of this screen, I've got these all coming back in separate channels on Pro Tools. You could do that on Logic or Cubase or whatever your DAW is. Then we have the layout screen in the center here. We can audition our parts. It's just a case of clicking to insert a part. If we right mouse click, then we can put choke on. We can copy and paste and all those kind of things. Double click to remove it again. And some really cool features then. Each of these parts can actually run at different lengths and different speeds. So you can do some really cool stuff. So if I created a new pattern, for example, here in 13, that's empty at the moment. So there we go. Just choose the right one. So I can choose my kick, but I could say, well, actually, I only want the kick. I only need to put 2 kicks in if it's like 4 on the floor. So I can come back here. Grab this and bring it all the way back down. So as you can see now, that snare's going round all the way for 2 bars. So again, I could pick the snare up and have that going for just do some variation there. That's going at half speed at the moment, so again, put it at normal speed. Double speed that. And all sorts of different variations we can do. And just build that up. Take those back out again, don't want those in. But as you can see, you could make that any length you want. Now this is where it gets cool as well now. So what we can then do is that sound at the moment is being generated by a sample. Now what I could do instead is generate it as a synth. So at the moment there we have a basic sine wave. Just turn that down a little bit. I'd choose something else instead. I could choose, for example, anything we want. We could go through and just choose just some. And as you can see, we just go through and there's all sorts of stuff in there. So I'll choose granular noise because I want to create a hi-hat. We can then come into here. Tune it. Put a filter on it if I want. The great thing is I can then add a sampling I want, either the ones that come in the factory here or my own stuff. Yeah, I like that one. Again, I can change the gain of that and mix them up a bit. Change the envelope again. You get the idea anyway. And you can add LFOs in there and all sorts of stuff. Let's just stop that for a minute. Now, where it gets really cool as well is we can go in. Let's load in something else now, the hip hop one. For example, let's play your hip hop part. And we can go to any of these parts and we can do some really wild stuff with them. This snare, which is this one, we could go in and we could actually randomize and really start doing some really wild editing of it in terms of micro editing, as it's called. So we could get that at the moment. That's on a rhythm of 256 triplets. We go right back down to something like 16. Or change it as pitch. Or randomize it. You change the gate time. Change the tail on that, make it much tighter. Which is really, really wacky. So then you can use it as a performance device. So as I say, all this stuff is playable from the bottom keyboard. It's synced to your DAW as well. So you could actually play it live while other things are playing. So we could go through, for example, we could turn the always re-trigger off and put the latch on, but now I can go through and from my keyboard, play it like a song. So let's just turn the latch off for a second. Let's load up a few more things just for you to hear them. In the minimal, there's some really nice stuff. Let's try that one. So some really nice samples in here. So as you can hear, that's very, very nice. So up to 24 patterns, so you can use it as performance or just a live sample player. It has separate outputs. So there we are, that's Breaktweaker. It's a pretty intense rhythm generator and sequencer. As I say, you can use it in live performance with the patterns, or you can use it in live performance playing the samples as well. You can bring your own samples in. You can build sounds from scratch, and that's one of the most powerful things about it, is getting under the hood here and going into the generator and using the synth generator and building the stuff. It's got a huge library of synth generation in there, so it doesn't take long for you to build some really cool, as I say, analog style drum sounds, and then do some cool things with distortion, with filter, with a low, high, and a band pass, and also cool envelopes and LFOs. It's very powerful, and I would download the demo and check it out as soon as you can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.